Marker.
All right. Well, here we are, man.
Here we are, man.
Here we are, man.
A Kiwi and a Canadian?
I know, the
That's
accents
kind of the start of a joke. A Kiwi and a Canadian walk into the voice.
Yeah, there you go. There is a lot of accents going on here, so I hope maybe we should speak slowly. And
Okay.
we we have half an hour, but it's like with a journey as storied as yours has been, as interesting and as fascinating as yours has been, it's going to be tough, man, to squeeze it in. And there's a lot of talk about, and like doing a deep dive into your journey. All of it because of your grandfather's record collection.
A lot of it, yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Like that is what instilled the bug. That is what instilled that fire. Was there a record in particular in that collection that you remember pulling out and spinning?
No, there's so many. You know what's funny is that a lot of it boils down to wanting to be special. Like all of us want to be unique, you know, and especially when we get to the age of, you're 10, 11, 12, and you're starting to try to find yourself, and you're looking for those things that make you different, and so we all do. We all look for that weird band or that movie or that hobby or that sport or that thing where we start to find ourselves and we go, this is how I identify, and this is. And so for me, it was like old school music. It was like my grandfather. I was very close to him, and so we'd go sit on his shag carpet or whatever, and he just loved, the Great American Songbook. He just played me Dean Martin. A lot of it was Italian-American singers. Dean Martin, Bobby Darin, Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra. But then he loved a lot of the African, he loved Ella Fitzgerald, loved Sarah Vaughan, he loved the Ink Spots, he loved the Mills Brothers. And those groups were sort of the inspiration to a lot of, the people like Frank or Dean. And so he just instilled this, this love of that music, and then he would play it for me, and then I realized my voice, I had I know it sounds weird, but I knew I could sing, I knew I could keep a tune, and so there was a smoothness when I would sing. So one of the first records he played was a guy named Vic Dana, It Had to Be You, and I remember I would come home and scribble the words out and sing, it had to be you, and had this smooth crooning kind of sound. Man, I was like, this, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I will get a girlfriend.
Maybe this will work, yeah.
Maybe some girl will like me because of this. I think that was like the basis of how it all started.
Well, it's so interesting because you would have been singing love songs before you even knew what Love meant.
Yeah, absolutely. But I did have amazing make-out sessions with many pillows.
With some jazz records in the back.
Yeah.
You mentioned you always kind of had an idea that you had the tone, the sound, but when did you realize that your voice could move people?
Oh, I don't, it's weird, it's a great question, and I still don't sometimes think about it that way, I know the music does, I know the music I write does sometimes, and I know there are moments when I can look into a crowd and know that something I've sung has moved someone because of maybe a memory or a moment they're going through. I never really thought about it that way, though. I felt like I was less of a, growing up especially, as a young guy, I was less of a, thinking of myself as an interpreter or a poet, and more as an entertainer who happened to sing. I think the truth is, I think I really was an actor. If we really get down to it, I was an actor who sang. And so it's funny, my sister was a really successful actress, and for many years people would say, oh, are you Crystal Bublé's brother? And I remember going like, because she was in a bunch of movies and TV shows, and I'd want to be an actor. And so I think the singing thing was, I love music, but I think I really thought to myself, wow, okay, I have a better chance of breaking through as a singer, because what I'm doing is so unique and different. Because every time I'd go to an audition, there would be, 25 guys that looked like me but better, And it was hard, especially with, the art of acting. Listen, music is so specific. You can tell in a second if someone moves you, if their voice sounds great, if they're on pitch. But acting is so much more subjective. You know what I mean? You know, your favorite actor may be someone that I go, yikes, that dude is cringy for me.
It's really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it was like, there was a real thought at 14, 15 years old, you know? Okay. I got a better chance doing this, and I loved that. Like, I was passionate about that stuff, but an actor or comedian.
That's so interesting. And I mean, you know, you mentioned 14, 15. I mean, you were in your late 20s when you started releasing albums.
Younger, weirdly. Well, the ones that you
like
know
little
about.
independent records?
Yeah, I had independent records. And, yeah.
Do you know, you don't need me to tell you that that's relatively young to be singing the Great American Songbook, right?
Sure.
It's. Do you ever feel like maybe when you started that people would look down on you and you had to prove yourself more because you were younger than the rest?
No, I thought people were weird. No joke. I would trip. I would be like in the car, and I'd be listening to Ray Charles, or I'd be listening to,
Yeah.
And I remember I would literally think like what? Like, this is so good.
Right.
Like, this is so good. Like, this song, you know, firstly, melodic, man, this melody is crushing any pop song I'm hearing on the radio. Lyrically, it's supporting this. This is a beautiful piece of artwork. And then you'd hear these rhythm sections in bands, and they'd be swinging harder than, like, man, harder than any hip-hop record, or as hard. And I'd be like, okay, if you like hip-hop, if you like rock, if you like the feel of that bass in a rock, like, how could you not? And I would trip. I'd be like, how is this not bigger?
Right.
Like, how is this?
Right.
Why am I the only 14-year-old kid or 16-year-old driving his car that is going, this shit is so good?
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So it was more of, I was confused.
Yeah.
And I'd play it for my friends, and they'd be like, yeah, man, you know, Grandpa's music. And I'd be like, dude, what are you not hearing?
How'd you not let that get to you?
Oh God, I was just so sure that they were wrong, you know? And then when I started getting into the rooms, I was really young, and my grandfather would do plumbing, you know, to get me into some of the gigs. So I'd play like restaurants or clubs, nightclubs, or many bars, like kind of bars. And then I knew I was right, because I would watch a room go crazy. I'd watch, you know, walk in and no one would know who we were. And then, you know, within 40 minutes, people were hammered and, you know what I mean, drinking, and it was a party, and that guy was leaving with her, and this dude was, you know what I mean? It was a party, and I was like, yeah, they get this.
Yeah.
Great songs.
Oh, yeah. You know, we mentioned some of the early albums, but there's a big anniversary coming up.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's time, man. 20 years.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
That's a big one, too.
That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
That's a really big one, yeah.
Yeah, but it's time, man. It's 20. And
It's time is 20.
yeah, it is. Does it feel like that?
How old are you?
29.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it feels like that.
Does it?
Yeah, it feels like that.
Why?
I have lived a lot of life in the last 20 years. A lot. And I get really emotional about it and really sentimental because, you know, you talk about the record, It's Time. And when you say that, it's time, I think about hundreds of people who loved me so much and who wrote on that record with me, or who, you know, the musicians who arranged, orchestrated, produced, sang. So many are gone. So many have passed. My whole life has changed. I mean, a lot of the team that were my team, from all of it, from my publicity or, you know, people that I had in management, yeah, a lot of them have either, you know, retired, or it's crazy how I still feel like I'm 18 years old, but yeah, but all of a sudden it's, you know, and it's funny because I never appreciated it while it was happening, and I didn't feel like I could afford to. I felt like there was no time to stop and smell the roses. I was, you know, way too ambitious, and but it's nice now as I look back that I can be sentimental, and I can be so grateful for all those people and those moments, and some of the craziest memories, and it's amazing. It's been a great life.
What got you to the point where you could appreciate it?
Now, I think being a father, I think so much changes in your life. When those kind of things happen. I think for me they did anyway. And I got a great wife who'd remind me, to try to live in the moment and all that stuff. And I think it's there's little moments like my son turned 12 the other day, and so for me that wasn't just this awesome chance to celebrate this beautiful kid, and that I'm so lucky to know him. It was a chance to remember that that's what's important for me, because I get lost real quick. I'm very ambitious still. Mm-hmm. I'm as hungry as I was when I was 15 years old. Okay. And I sort of, I stress about stuff, or not stress as much as I obsess. Like, man, when I want to do something, when there's a project, all the people that are sitting here in this room watching us in this interview, there's a few of them here, and they know me really well. Yeah. And I drive them crazy. Because I will, they'll be sweet and say, no, you don't drive. I know I drive them crazy. I drive. I drive the bus, And during his birthday, I am reminded that stuff, while I'm obsessive compulsive and I can't stop myself, that isn't important. It's not, man. Like, those are not the things I'm going to look back on. And
that's a good point.
Yeah.
As someone with OCD myself, I get that. I also think, for me, in ways, it helps me with my work and my job.
Sure.
And that movement. How does that obsession that you speak of help you in your world?
My biggest problem isn't how much I love people and how much I love to entertain and how much I love to connect with them. It's that I can't enjoy it because I'm too busy looking at the one dude who doesn't like it. And that's me. And my people would tell you that too. 35,000 people, everyone's going nuts, and I walk off stage and go, did you see that guy? He didn't like me at all. He wanted to go home, and I'll spend the whole night, and then I'll break him. And I'll watch him at the end, and he'll look at me and give me like a slow clap, and I'll be like, fuck yeah.
You did it.
I did it.
I did it.
Ha ha! Yep. Everyone loves me.
As ambitious as ever. Man.
I want to know, it's interesting, I want to know how it helps you. Give me examples of why you think that is a gift for you.
My main OCD is washing my hands, which doesn't help me at all, other than being clean. But for my job, it helps me in terms of when I'm wording questions, I have to make sure that every word is going to connect with the artist that I'm talking to, right? Or my intention behind everything. I will sometimes spend hours on one question to make sure that I can get it right.
I understand.
Questions will have so many different forms.
I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
To me, it's my art form.
I understand.
And I obsess over that.
Yeah, no, that's passion, and it becomes preparedness. And when you're prepared like you are, it looks easy. And that's why you are where you are. It's funny, it's a great answer. That's exactly why you are where you are, because that is the difference, between good and great.
Yeah. Well, and ambition, and taking it back to its time.
Yeah.
Ambitious boy covering Can't Buy Me Love and opening it with Feeling Good,
Yeah, which, by the way, were both songs where the producer said, it's funny, David is a genius, man. David Foster is one of the greatest who's ever gonna live. And he didn't know the song. He didn't know the Nina Simone song, Feeling Good. Just hadn't heard, hadn't come across his
realm, right.
And he was like, and I was like, no. I was very sure. David would tell you if he was sitting here, the one thing I was all the time from the very first record was sure. Yeah, I knew who I was. I knew how to reinterpret, or, I was good at reimagining songs. Can't Buy Me Love, I remember, completely sitting on the couch beside him. He had a keyboard, and I remember talking about putting a double time feel, and I remember sitting beside him, and him going like, really? Can't buy me love? And me going, yeah. And having this double time feel. And John Clayton Jr. was a great arranger, and I remember we took that, we'd really done like this really cool arrangement built just with synth, synth horns, synth, but kind of a cool map. And then we brought it to John Clayton Jr., and I remember going to the studio, because in those days you didn't have a thing where you could mock it up on the computer, It was just, you go in the studio, and the big band comes in, and you put it down. And I remember hearing it and going like, oh my God. And we talked a lot about that. I remember that arrangement, the big question about that arrangement was, would we go into a halftime feel? So, don't live for much for money, but money can't buy me love, can't buy me. And then into the halftime, and I remember going like, is it cheesy?
It's so smart.
Is it cheesy though? Like I remember sitting there going like, man, is it corny? Is this too, is this sacrilegious? And that was a fun one. We won the Grammy, I think, for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. It keeps the audience wondering where you're going to go.
Yeah.
To your point about, the guy
was
in the
this
studio.
time the one that had the first songs I wrote? I don't remember.
Yeah, it did. It had, was it Home?
Yeah, those were weird for me too.
That's insane.
Because I had a few of those songs in the first record, and they were like, no, you're a Sinatra dude. You're gonna say, you're not a songwriter. As a matter of fact, I remember bringing some of the songs and them going like, what now?
And then you released.
I remember the joke. David would always make a joke. He'd say, "Maybe on your solo record."
Jeez.
Maybe on your solo record you could do it.
Yeah, but then Home comes out and it's a smash.
Yeah, man, it was great. Yeah, and again, I think I sold myself too. I don't think when I went into the record company, I know for a fact, the first question Tom Wally asked me was, "Why should we sign you on Reprise? We have Sinatra." And I said, with all due respect, he's passed, he's gone. And I said, let me be someone who can help carry that legacy. And I understand now why, as I look back, when all of a sudden that second record, I was like, yes, I am a songwriter. They were like, what? You know what I mean? And but yeah, the songs were really, very proud of those songs.
Yeah, you should be. And we're
Great
talking about 20
great
years.
co-writers.
Yeah, it talks about 20 years later. We're talking about longevity.
Yeah. Yeah. Now feeling good every time I see a TikTok. It's some sexy dude or some sexy girl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Look at it. It's
looking all dorky, and then whop! All of a sudden they're all sexy.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a testament to the longevity of the music. Do you think of it in a way as like you're preserving it in a way? Like,
I'm so protective of it. I'm so protective of those songs, and now as I start to fall in love with genres where I'm having the same love affair with country right now. Like I always liked country music, but now, man, I'm starting to getting to mine the greatest songs and artists like George Jones and Loretta Lynn and Hank Williams Jr. And all of a sudden, for me, I feel like I'm 15 again.
Cool.
And I'm discovering Frank and Dean and the Mills Brothers and 4A's. I'm like, it's a very cool. It's a very cool thing. I'm very excited about music again.
Yeah, good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. My bucket list is a country record, man.
Really?
Let's go. Yeah. My bucket list is.
Do it.
Dude, I'm so in love with this stuff.
Holy crap, do it.
But I don't want to, I'm going to do it in my way. Take the greatest songs ever written, because to me they are part of the American Songbook. And to put love into it and reverence and then do them my way. I think it'd be great, man. There's great songs. How can you go wrong with those amazing songs? By the way, I went to Nashville. I played the Grand Ole Opry. I fell in love with the whole community. Like, they're such beautiful people. I don't think I'm going to sell 4 copies if I do it, but I don't care. Because I'm going to drink a lot of whiskey. I'm going to hang out and make beautiful music with beautiful people.
You played the opera, you're halfway there.
Are you kidding me? I got Reba McEntire across the hall.
Literally.
I'm living the best life. Tomorrow morning I hang with Kelly Clarkson. I mean, Blake Shelton. These are very cool people.
Those are the
Kelsey Ballerini.
Yeah.
I love them all.
Well, that's good, because we're at a place right now that literally celebrates every style of music. It's represented in the coaches, it's represented in the artists that come onto the stage.
Yeah.
You won season 26. You won season 27. I'm not surprised. First judge to win 2 seasons in a row. Back for season 28. You've described this as the best job you've ever had.
It is the best job.
Why?
You know what, man? I was built to do it.
Yeah.
I was built to do it.
You feel like that?
I'm a teacher. You know, I get to be a teacher and a coach, and I get to meet all these incredibly talented young people. And my big worry was that when I came here was, you know, is it like a TV show? Are these producers cold? And, you know, is it like the camera goes on and you do your thing and you say your, you know, and I remember the first day, Audrey's the head producer, and she said, okay, so we're gonna meet the artists. They're gonna come in one by, you know, you'll turn the channel. And I was like, the artists? And she was like, yeah. And I said, you know, like the contestants. And she said, yeah, we call them artists. And I was like, okay. And then I realized through each step, there was so much reverence and respect paid to those artists. This show wasn't about the nerds in the seats. Like I realized very quickly, we are all, wow, replace us. Yeah. You know what? Boom, bring Kelly Clarkson into Bublé's seat, or throw, you know, Snoop into whatever. It really is, this show has lasted because of this, the onus that's put on loving, nurturing, and respecting these artists. It's a horrible environment. They walk in as musicians.
Terrified.
They completely are terrified. They can hear the hearts beating in their ears. They open themselves up to us. God, our chairs are turned backwards.
It's horrifying.
Like, it's the worst. So it made me so happy that at the very top of production here, there was this very serious, you know, it was just very serious how they treated the artists. And I was like, man, this is for me. And then I realized, I was like, can I like share my number with them? Can I get, you know,
question.
How much can I be involved? Like, can I, you know, I'll be honest with you, man. I've been on the phone all morning with some of my team, and some of them are on my team, and some of them didn't make it. I remember that I was terrified. I was 28 when I finally got that first taste of success. And you know, go back to its time and talking about the sentimentality of those relationships. I was them. I remember being them. I remember how scared I was, how unfair I thought it was. Like, I'm good. How are they not seeing this, you know? And they're good. And they're wondering that same thing. And by the way, this has become even harder. This business has become, it's just so unstable and so hard to break through. And you know, weirdly, these shows have become a big way to do it. You know, I don't even know if I like that. Like, I don't like that. I like that there used to be bars and clubs that would hire me to go so people could get drunk and get laid. Like, that helped me to become great. I learned. You know, and I want that for these guys. But if this is the road, then I'd love to be part of helping, you know, helping them down that road as best I can. I'd like to win again, too.
I think you're the right guy for the gig, man.
I really think they should vote for me, even if they don't like my artists.
Well, congratulations, man. I could go on forever. It was
You're a
so
genius.
Nice.
These are the best questions ever.
Thank you, man.
All your
That's
hard
very
work.
kind of you.
No, you're so great, man.
Look at this guy. Thank you. I
Kiwis,
appreciate
dude,
it, man.
Kiwis, let's make.
You're welcome back to New
we'll
Zealand
make fun
anytime.
of Australians when they're not listening.
Just behind their back. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Peace.